Good evening, Internet. My name is Michael, and I'm here to review some stuff for you. Tonight, we're going to take a look at a post-apocalyptic science fiction film that just came out last year. That's right, we're going to take a look at Dredd. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, let me read the back so you can get a general idea. The America of post-apocalyptic future is an irradiated wasteland, a vast, ultra-violent world where criminals control the mean city streets. Ultimate law enforcers like Dredd and his new partner Anderson are judges, the only force battling for justice. Dispatched by the central authority, the judges' target is Mama, a ruthless boss bent on expanding her criminal empire through sales of slow-mo, a dangerous reality-altering drug. With Dredd calling the shots, the two judges declare full-scale war on crime in this unrelenting and brutal three-dimensional thrill ride. So yeah, that's kind of a good idea about what the movie is about. Basically, the general plot of the movie is that in the future, World War III's happened, and most of America is a giant irradiated wasteland. And so everyone moves to the East Coast, and they form this giant city that goes from like Washington to Boston. And they call it Mega City 1, and that's where the movie takes place. It's just a giant city where crime happens all the time, and only the judges, which are the law enforcers, are able to stop it. And the judges are basically the cops and your judge. They do on-the-spot judgments, including executions sometimes. But most of the time they don't do executions. They just send you to jail for a long time. Anyway, the main plot of the movie takes place in a giant apartment complex. Huge 200-story building. And basically, Dredd is taking it's not his partner. The woman he's taking, Anderson, is a psychic, and it's her first day on the job, and he's doing her test to see if she's worthy to be a judge or not. So they investigate a murder in this giant apartment complex, and then stuff happens, all hell breaks loose, and they get stuck inside the giant apartment without any way of getting out, and tons of criminals that they have to fight their way to the top, basically, to get out. So that's the general plot. It's not terribly, dramatic, or it's dramatic, but it's not terribly, deep or anything. But it works pretty well. The good points of the movie is that it's a really good action movie. The plot is decent. But the action is where this movie just really kicks a lot of ass. There's some scenes where the people take the drug with slow-mo, and it's like your perception of reality is slowed down, so they do everything in slow motion, and it also makes everything like really sparkly and it looks really weird. But it's used quite well for very good dramatic effect. There's some gunfights that are in slow motion, and they look awesome. So yeah. This is just a really good movie. Now, there is another Judge Dredd movie starring Sylvester Stallone that came out in the 90s, and that's a really bad movie. I'll probably get to that one at some point. I can't really recommend watching it unless you're looking for like just a bad movie to watch. But this one, I can highly recommend watching it. The acting's great, the action's great. It's just a good movie. I heartily give it a 5. And that's all I have for this time. Stay tuned for next time, and I'll be reviewing something else.